Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. Welcome to the first video in my series where I play through Final Fantasy XIV Patch 4.1 The Legend Returns. I'm standing here in Ralger's Reach with my character Tia. She is a bard. I will be using this character for this playthrough. This will go just like my previous series where I played through the Stormblood story. I'm going to be focusing on the story. I'm going to be talking to NPCs. I think I said NPCs. I will be reading all the text out loud, so you have been warned. This is the status of my bard. She is eye level 316. Not the greatest, but I've gone through all the dungeons at least at level 70, and I think I should be ready for the story. So let's just get right into it. Here we are in Ralger's Reach. I am starting this video series on Tuesday, October the 17th, 2017. I specifically waited until dawn here in Ralger's Reach so there would be some light. If you watched any of my previous series, you know that I have a tendency, I have the poor luck to usually start my videos just as night falls, which results in a very dark, depressing video. But here we are. Now, I am just making the assumption here that this is where the story begins, because I see a little exclamation point over Lisa's head here. This is where we left off at the end of the main scenario quest from Stormblood, so I just kind of assumed it's going to start here. This is going to be a blind playthrough, by the way. I have not read anything about this. I have not seen anything about it. I don't know what to expect. So let's just go. I think this is the guy that gives us compasses, right? Looking for an aether compass. Afraid you'll find none here. I'll keep an eye out in case one turns up, though. I also have my minion, Gosetsu, of course. My favorite minion. Let's talk to Minago first. We bought this freedom with blood. That of our friends and our enemies. I'll be damned if we're going to give it up again. Yeah. Alright, Lise. Let's see. What do you have to say? Ironvald's adventure. Lise seems troubled.
Come to see how we're getting on?
Yep.
We've made good progress since we took back Alamigo, but there's one big issue we still have to address. Leadership. The Domans had Lord Hien ready and willing to take the throne, but we've got no one like that here. Theodoric was our last ruler, and he wasn't called the Mad King for nothing.
Suffice it to say, our people have had their fill of kings, which means we need to find a new way forward.
If only it were that easy. Everyone and his uncle has an opinion.
Oh.
For the time being, we're just going to have to keep leaning on General Aldin and the Alliance for support, and see if we can't find a solution together. Something tells me we're going to be hosting a lot of meetings in the near future. But if that's what it takes, I'm ready to talk till my jaw aches. The
Okay.
reach is yours, Nago. Don't do anything I wouldn't.
Aye, aye, Commander.
She's the one that should be in charge. Hey.
Ah, there you are. I've been searching all over for you. Now, don't worry, it's nothing bad. That said, this might not be the best place to talk. Will you join me?
Okay.
I'll get to the point. Might you be interested in a spot of adventure? After all, we were adventurers before we were scions, were we not?
Uh-huh.
After routing the Imperials and liberating Alamigo, I reckon we've earned a bit of respite, don't you? And what better way to spend it than by returning to our roots?
What do you mean?
What say you? Shall we call on Alphino and go adventuring?
Alphino? It's what we do, I suppose. Meow, 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 meow. Well, I thought we were going to be following Lise to go talk to people, but I guess not. Right then, let's go and find Master Lavalier. Actually, leave that to me. I want you fresh for our little adventure. Wait for us by the Aetheryte, and we'll be along shortly. See you there. Alright, Tiny Gasetsu, let's go. Still got my trusty chocobo. The mount that I always use. The plainest of mounts. Waiting. Greetings, Tia. Would seem we are to accompany Ehrenwald on some manner of escapade. Have you any idea what we've gotten ourselves into? Allow me to explain. It'll be something of a history lesson, but I'll try to be brief. No snoring, if you please. No promises. Now, the events I would speak of occurred before the occupation, back when Alamigo was still a monarchy and Theodoric sat at the throne. The Mad King, as we learned just a moment ago. A uniquely brutal despot by all accounts. That he was. The King of Ruin suffered new rivals, real or imagined, and his dispute with the monks of the Fist ended with Rauga's Reach being burned to the ground. In the latter years of his rule, he was seized by the unshakable belief that unseen forces were conspiring to steal his crown, and so he ordered that every soul with a claim to the throne be executed, including his own family. The wealth of the poor sods he put to death became the property of the king, and it said that these royal treasures were hoarded somewhere in the palace. Thus was born the legend of the Mad King's Trove. Ah, I believe I see the direction our adventure is to take. I assume you have a mind to unearth this hidden bounty? You assume correctly. And would I also be correct in assuming that this legend is widely known? Others must surely have gone in search of your prize, tempting as it seems. Well, of course, we won't be the first to make the attempt. Following Alamigo's liberation, more than a few eager soldiers turned the palace upside down in hopes of claiming an easy fortune. But even after scouring every room from dawn till dusk, they uncovered not a single coin. Their gold lust drained away as quickly as it had come, and the legend of the Mad King's Trove remains simply that, a legend. But I see you have no intention of letting the story end there. What self-respecting adventurer would? Imagine the three of us delving into a decades-old mystery. Tell me the thought doesn't set your heart to racing. I guess. Yeah, sure. I'll take on this adventure. Yay! Erenval's adventure. I got a box. I get a box from this. You have learned the emote box. Oh, it's an emote. I thought that was an emote icon. No, not Free Company. Social emotes. Box, 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 box. I don't see box. It was gray. Well, where is it? Can I just type in box? Yeah, there we go. Haha. I don't know why I need that, but okay. Okay, you can stop now. If anyone can find that treasure, it's us. But even if we don't, the adventure will be reward enough, I reckon. The darkness below. You can almost see the wheels turning in Alphino's head. The news of Doma and Alamigo's liberation has kindled the flames of revolution in every corner of the Empire. I hear the imperial province of Dalmasca has already risen up in rebellion. Which means the Garleans must surely have their hands full. What better time than now to indulge in such a diversion? Tell us, Arnvold, have we any clues as to where we might begin our search? Well, judging by how the other treasure hunters fared, nosing about the palace isn't like to get us anywhere, so we'll probably need to, ask around. That would be another way of saying no. Yes. I see. In that case, I shall pay a visit to the Allied archivists and request access to the records seized from the Imperials. The Garleans are meticulous about such things. If they uncovered the trove during their occupation, the event is certain to have been recorded. In the meantime, the two of you can track down those who worked as palace servants and officials in Theodoric's day. Given that they would have been at least 20 at the time, you will be looking for people who have seen 40 summers or more. Anything they can tell you about the king and his bloody deeds may prove useful, so be sure to listen well. Arnvold, pray try your luck in the fringes and the peaks, whilst Tia makes the rounds in the Alamigan quarter. Ha! And there I was thinking I was the party leader. Not that I mind, of course. Let's be about it, eh? We can meet afterwards at Galbardi's Gate. Alright. We are off on an adventure. Quest accepted. Where? Girabanya. Where is this? Oh, way out here in the last map. The map that I didn't really spend a whole lot of time in. The locks. Ah, thank God that music went away. That's one of my least favorite pieces in this game. I think it's because you hear it so often and for so long. I probably could have teleported someplace a little closer, but this will give us a nice view of the territory. The place where we defeated that guy whose name I can't remember. The guy who apparently just wanted an interesting fight. The Alamegan Quarter. Here we are. There should be somebody. Here we go. A middle-aged Highlander. There can be only one. In the palace? No, not me, lass. Surely you've heard the stories of the Mad King. He used to hold public executions up on Divine's audience. Anyone, and I mean anyone, suspected of conspiring against the crown was flung from the top of those steps. Suffice it to say that I stayed as far away from the palace as possible. I can understand why. You know, I've already forgotten why we are interviewing these people. I guess we're just looking to find out where the treasure is. Mature maid. You want to hear an old maid's stories, do you? Well, most of what I know of the Mad King is common knowledge. We'd only see his royal majesty when he deigned to attend the executions he'd ordered. And after a while, even watching his enemies die wasn't enough to coax him out of hiding. They say he started seeing assassins in every shadow and wouldn't set foot outside the palace walls. I was offered work there as a royal servant once, but the mere thought of it left me in a cold sweat. Who would want to work for a mad king? I ask you. Retired Rodigan. I served at the pleasure of King Theodoric, and lived to tell the tale. One of the palace guards I was. Truth be told, it was a dark chapter in my life, and one I'd sooner forget. Hardly a night went by when we didn't hear blood-curdling screams echoing from the inner chambers, which of course we were under orders to ignore. So we'd stand still as statues, trying not to imagine what horrors were unfolding within. If you're hell-bent on finding out what happened in the palace, head down the street here and ask old Arnold. He was the king's head scribe. How convenient. Is he the one on the boxes here? Are we not men? Do we not bleed? Do we not deserve to be free? Sure. Oh, there he is. He's hiding around the corner. Yes, I'm Arnold. What do you want with me? Meow, 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 meow. You would have me dredge up some decidedly unsavory memories. Yet if Alamigo is to move forward, we must needs acknowledge the misdeeds of the past. Very well, I shall tell you what I remember. I take it you know of Theodoric's paranoia and the public executions of his kinsmen. Those were terrible enough, but in his last days, the king's fevered mind settled upon an even grislier method of disposal, which only a chosen few were unfortunate enough to witness. His Majesty ordered the court thaumaturge to unleash a vile curse upon the remaining members of the royal family, a magic which transformed them into fiends of hideous aspect. The resulting monstrosities were then cast into the darkness below the palace. Even now, my sleep is troubled by nightmares. If others of Theodoric's blood were prone to share his madness, then mayhap it is a kindness that the monarchy ended with him. Okay. Thanks for the memories. I focus so much on pronouncing the words that in the text that I don't really absorb what the text actually says. So I'm not really sure what he just said. Alphino. Excellent timing, as ever. We have but this moment returned from our own intelligence-gathering efforts. An amazing coincidence, as always. since you're all here, why don't we share what we've learned? Oh, very well. Allow me to begin, then. As promised, I scoured the Imperial records for any mention of fantastic treasures, and found precisely none. It is just possible, I suppose, that a corrupt official deliberately hid the fact of the trove's discovery, hoping to enrich himself. But I find it rather unlikely that so valuable a find would stay secret for so long. I conclude that our prize either does not exist, or that the Imperials somehow overlooked it. I think I made a funny noise in there. But what of you, Tia? Were your investigations any more fruitful? Well, there was this guy. Turned into monsters? And what could he mean by this darkness beneath the palace, I wonder? I met an old man in Alagiri who spoke of the palace's subterranean prison, but he said naught of cursed abominations. The Imperial archives were also silent on the subject of fiends inside the palace grounds. Could this scribe fellow have been spinning her yarn, do you think? Did you believe him, Tia? His fear seemed genuine. Meow, 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 meow. If he was afraid, that does lend credence to the tale, though I'm not sure how that helps us in our search. Do not be so hasty. Arnold's anecdote may very well have told us where the trove is hidden. But ere I share my theory... That sounded so southern. But ere I share my theory, there's a matter I would clarify. Just screw it. Arenvold, you spoke of light-hearted adventure. Do I sense a deeper motive for this expedition? Why are you so intent on finding this treasure? It wasn't all pretense, I swear it, but you're right. My father was in the Imperial Army, a man of Garlean blood. I trust you know what I mean when I say that my Alamegan mother did not welcome my arrival. Yeah. As I grew, she would check my brow over and over, convinced that a spot on my skin was an emerging third eye, like the kind you see in pure-blood Garleans. My mother did not care for this taunting reminder of my heritage, and took up a knife. War paint serves to cover the scar. In the end, she turned me out into the street, and I was left to haunt the alleyways of Alamigo, a feral child who got what he needed through begging, cunning, and worse. The best I can say about the years that followed is that I survived, but I hated the animal I'd become. Eventually I left the city behind me and joined a group of refugees bound for the other side of the wall. It was then that I turned to adventuring, and that road led me into the company of the Scions. I tell you this so that you can understand. I know all too well what poverty and hunger can do to a person. I drew steel on ordinary folk for a measly crust of bread. With Theodoric's gold, I could spare my countrymen the shame of living like that. Thank you, Arenvold, and I apologize. That cannot have been pleasant to recall. But I felt it best to be clear in our intentions. Well, Tia, are you content to surrender the treasure to Arenvold's noble cause and claim the thrill of adventure as your reward? Sure am. Then I should be glad to tell you my theory on the resting place of the Mad King's Trove, if you are minded to hear it. Sure. Food. I hate it when they give us food as a reward. I'm just taking the money. I never use food in this game. Well, out with it. What's this theory of yours? The Mad King's Trove. Alphino seems eager to share his theory. I bet it's going to be a dungeon. Actually, mayhap it would be better if we first adjourn to a more suitable location. In case a rival treasure hunter overhears our plans, you mean? Good thinking. That was not exactly the reason, but 'tis certainly a valid concern. Let us reconvene on the southern edge of Loch Seld. Sure thing. Let's go, Tiny Gasetsu. Where is that exactly? Oh, it's out here. Okay, we can just fly there. Now taking off, flying away to Loch Seld. I gotta say, so far this story is not really overwhelming me. Come now, Alphino, don't leave us in suspense. Let's hear this theory of yours. Forgive me, 'twas not my intention to draw out proceedings. I simply wished to have the lock in sight while I explained things. Prior to the great flood of the 6th umbral calamity, the salt lakes you see before you were yet dry ravines, and this, believe it or not, was the site of the ancient city of Scala, which rose and fell during the 5th astral era. From what we know of the period, the city was already deserted by the time the waters began to rise, having been all but destroyed by war, yet its ruins remain to this day at the bottom of Loch Seld. It is my belief that the darkness beneath the palace mentioned by Theodoric's former scribe was not a reference to the prison, but to a place still further below, the ruins of Scala. I further surmise that the Mad King's unfortunate kinsmen were cast down there not simply out of a desire to punish them, but to discourage exploration. Theodoric wanted to keep the ruins secure. Wait, you're saying they were meant to guard the Mad King's trove? Precisely, and since we know the court thaumaturge was involved, we can safely assume that any entrance into the old city will have been magically concealed. Which would explain how a legion of Imperial soldiers and the gods know how many Alamegans never found a trace of the trove. We, however, have certain advantages which they do not enjoy. Tia, would you be so good as to swim down to the bottom of the loch and search for an underwater route into the ruins? While you do that, Arenvold and I will seek out an ensorcelled portal within the palace. What, you guys can't swim? Why do I have to do all the swimming? Bye. Arenvold says bye. Okay, I guess I will jump in the lake and swim to the bottom. I forgot how to dive. It's not spacebar. Is it control spacebar? Yes, there we go. I do wish they would make that transition a little better. I think I visited this area at one time or another during Stormblood, and I remember thinking, this is a lot of stuff underwater that seems to be not utilized. A big old underwater scene here. Where am I going to? I should probably look on the map. Whoa. Way up there? Oh, wow. So this actually runs under the land. Under the landscape. Wow, that's cool. I don't remember seeing this castle thing during Stormblood. I just remember seeing a couple of statues or something. Oh, I just remembered I can fly underwater. I don't know why I'm going so slow. There's some, Oh, these... Okay, the snowflakes must be there to mark the entrance. Hello, other player. I turned nameplates off so I wouldn't be distracted by other player names. You discover a passage that appears to lead under the palace foundations. Press on and find out where it goes. Oh. Swimming, swimming, swimming. This horribly drab-looking outfit, by the way, is the, it's the, like the eye level 310 gear that you get. I think you buy it with one of the tombstones. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they've probably upgraded the tombstones by now. Scripture, Verity. I don't remember which one of these I used. I guess Creation is the newest one. No, Creation has always been there. Hasn't it? I think I bought this outfit with Tombstones of Verity. And I've bought a few... I think I've bought all the jewelry with the Tombstones of Creation. If I am remembering correctly. Yeah, I got 320 and 330 gear. Oh, I don't have the earrings yet. Whatever. I haven't really played much in the last couple of months. So I'm relearning the game here as I'm recording this. You come to a worn stone door standing temptingly ajar. It would appear you have found an entrance into the subterranean ruins. Okay. Uh-oh. What happened? Alphino's voice. Oops. Oh, man. I accidentally clicked through his first text. And you believe it leads into the ruins? Excellent. Then I propose we proceed from our respective entry points and look to meet somewhere in the middle. Oh, come on, you two. We might as well make it a race. Victory goes to the first adventurer to find the treasure. Godspeed. The drowned city of Scala, now accessible. Well, this would definitely appear to be a dungeon. So, as before, with my previous recordings, I will go through the dungeon in a separate video. I don't know that I will upload the entirety of the dungeon run because they're kind of boring to watch unless you're really interested in dungeons. If you're only interested in the story, they're really not that interesting to watch. But I will probably put the final cutscene at the end of that dungeon at the beginning of the next story video. So that's my plan. So that'll be the end of this video. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye.